Right on time. We have a special guest with us, ladies and gentlemen. Keep typing in your questions, what you have. Charles is out in nature. Where are you right now? Is this the backyard?
Yeah, it's my manager's backyard in LA. It's like central LA-ish area.
Um, that is awesome. So let me give you a little bit of background, kind of where you are and kind of what's happening right now. Manor Senior High School, audio video production class.
Okay.
I think you can probably see the number of people kind of online here. So
Uh,
we have one, two, three, four, five? Okay, so I got five online right now, and
uh-huh.
then three are in the classroom right now. So I got about eight people we're talking to here. Um,
Cool.
but introduce yourself, Charles, and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, yeah, I'm Charles. Currently like audio engineer, producer, DJ. I throw events as well. I run like an underground record label. Um, that's basically everything wrapped up. But I try to like touch on everything that has to do with music. I've been a promoter. I've engineered and mixed records, produced records, thrown shows, but my main priority is like DJing, production, and mixing records and putting out records.
So tell us a little bit about throwing shows. What does that mean? Is that a virtual show? Is that a physical location? What is it?
Well, I started this underground party series that was in Austin called Thank You for Sweating, and that started with physical shows like pre-COVID, where they're basically pop up in random locations, and we'd put the invites out like 48 hours prior, and then basically I would just lean on like my friends that were producers and also DJs, and they would play those shows, and we'd create a flyer and just like blast them out, and people would show up, pay at the door. um, but since all of this quarantine and COVID situation, we did throw like a 48 hours continuous live stream, where we like tapped in with DJs and producers from all over the world, and then built out like a time schedule to where it was like 48 hours of continuous basically show. So I've done it physically and I've done it digitally. But I really miss the physical aspect of it for sure.
Well, so before you jumped on, so the class started like at 12:15, and
Uh-huh.
we looked around through a few things, and I saw that thank you for sweating, and I was like, April 17th to April 19th, noon until noon. Oh my gosh. I mean, it took me like 7 seconds, and I was like, we're on live for 48 hours.
Yeah, it was a whole 48-hour situation. It's funny because I was actually working at South by Southwest prior, and my job there was being an event coordinator and being in charge of all like the electronic and DJ acts. So since that got canceled, I was able to like wrangle all the friends that I was going to do those shows with in Austin, and then just translate it to an online 48-hour set. Yeah.
Nice. So take us back a little bit before that. So, high school. Charles is in high school. What was high school like for you?
High school was a blend of trying out a lot of different things. I was playing sports while making beats. They were terrible. Um, but yeah, I was involved in a lot of different things. I thought I was going to land in sports, but I always was making music like as a side, or anytime I was at home and being bored, I was just trying it out. So I wanted to make beats for my friends that weren't rappers and have them rap on it. But it was really experimental. It wasn't, I didn't even take myself that serious in high school, to be honest. But it was like trying, I guess.
So did you have a job when you were in high school? Or
Yeah,
did
yeah.
you
My
work?
first, my first job was McDonald's. So yeah, of course, I had the job. After that, Office Max. Um, yeah, those are like my two main jobs in high school. But yeah, I worked as much as I could just to save up money for music equipment. Um, where exactly are you guys located, Manor? Are you guys familiar with Clovis, New Mexico?
So we're in Manor, so we're just outside of Austin. So like on 290, if
Cool.
you're driving towards Houston, we're um yeah, just right outside of Austin.
Okay. So yeah, I went to a high school that was in a small town in New Mexico, right on the border of Texas and New Mexico. There wasn't really much to do other than play sports and like find a hobby, and that's what really got me involved in like making music and getting into production, watching a ton of YouTube videos, how to learn all those things.
I graduated from high school in 1994. I'm
Wow.
45 years old. YouTube wasn't an option when I
Mhm.
was in high school. But that's interesting that you say that what was there in the city where you went to high school, there wasn't
Mhm.
a lot kind of in the city. So what you spent time doing, you say, is work on some hobbies, watch YouTube videos, learn different things. Um, what year was that? What year did you graduate from high school?
Graduated high school in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah, 2007. Wow.
So there's a lot of similarities with where we are kind of in Maynard, because in Maynard, it we're half an hour, 45 minutes, kind of from Austin.
Uh-huh.
Um, and one of the assignments the students are looking at this month is listening to KUT, KUTX,
Hmm.
Pause Play, Season 2, Episode 1. That's the pandemic, South by shut down, and talking about musicians, cultural arts organizations, how studio owners, how to support creatives.
Uh-huh.
So that is kind of the audio that we've been listening to and kind of looking at as a class, with attempting to do some of those things, kind of in Manor. So
Cool.
attempting to do some of those things where we are, because where we are, it's sports,
Yeah.
and
Oh
that's
yeah.
kind of it.
Yeah, I know YouTube basically taught me everything. Like I didn't go to school for music at all. It was heavily on forums. There's so many forums out there where people are like giving away how to get like a specific sound or how to tap into a specific genre. Um, yeah, I spent a lot of time on the internet and just going to different corners, learning how to produce, learning how to mix before I was able to be in a city where like those sort of things you could actually show up to and learn in person. The internet was my best friend for sure.
I'm typing into chat here. What questions do y'all have? Typing in and see if we get any questions that pop up here. So with that, I've got a student who is back on campus. So we've kind of had, with COVID, it's like we didn't start. Um, there was very little in-person education until like the middle of October. So it's like, okay, let's try out some in-person. And then students come back to the high school, they're like, this is dead, it's quiet, there's nothing going on here. So some students flipped over to kind of virtual. Um, but I've got a student who is back in person, and in working with him, he's interested in music, photography, media production. He's a senior,
Mm-hmm.
and I sent him around campus today with the DSLR, and I
Uh-huh.
said, go around with the DSLR, ask people if you can take their photo, and then let them know what your Instagram handle is. He's currently got 3 photos on Instagram.
Nice.
His name is Kez. He's in the room right now. What advice would you kind of give to him? Kind of, coming to, coming to campus. Uh, we got IMAX, we got cameras, we got the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you kind of give against that backdrop to him?
Yeah, I would try to find someone that you look up to who's doing tutorials and just soak up as much as you can from them because there is a lot of people who give away free game and free knowledge online, and I would just literally find that person that inspires you and just soak it all up. What's up, man? How are you? Yeah, the internet is your best friend until you're in an environment where like the community is those type of artists or the type of creatives you want to be around. Everyone's hanging out on the internet. So I would like get involved in some sort of like group chat, Discord. I don't know if you're familiar with Discord. There's so many Discords out there right now with like Kenny Beats has one where he's got a giant production community where everyone in there is like sharing their music and sharing different tips and tricks. So I would find like a Discord group that's someone that's doing exactly what you want to do, and it's out there. You just gotta like search on Twitter or like the random corners of the internet. But like Discord right now seems to be how everyone's staying connected and just sharing knowledge with each other. Yeah.
So it's kind of finding like-minded folks um, who are doing stuff, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And it's out there. It may be hard to find, but it's all out there. Like until, like I said, until you're in that environment that people are in person, everyone's hanging out online. And then just find those people that are just sharing free game. And then you can go back and forth and like don't be afraid to ask questions, because a lot of the times I feel even like where I'm at, a lot of people still don't really know what they're doing. And they're like feeling their way through it, but they just have a little bit more knowledge than before. So yeah, like don't be afraid to ask questions, join communities, get in touch with people. And a lot of people are way more open-minded than you think. So like don't be afraid to hit them up out of the blue.
You also say he worked with Metro Boomin.
So we were stalking you a little bit, Charles. We were going on LinkedIn looking at some things, and
Uh-huh.
Kesh was like, "Wait, he worked with Metro Boomin? What was that?"
Yeah, so I used to be a studio manager, in-house producer and engineer at Orb Recording Studio is in Austin. I don't know if you actually should set up a tour to take your students there. I can connect you with that. Um, but it's like one of the nicest studios in Austin, and basically anybody that's coming through town will stop through there. And like Metro Boomin, and it was Metro Boomin and 21 Savage. Um, yeah, they basically came in, brought their needed materials to like make music, and I was an engineer on that session, but I was mainly like a fly on the wall. And yeah, the way they work is really interesting because there's no rules. They don't know what they're doing. They're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall until it sounds good. And then when it does, 21 Savage got up, hopped in the booth, and like knocked out a few verses. And then we just hung out the rest of the night. But yeah, it was, yeah, Orb Recording Studios. Look that up. That's like where everybody that is coming through Austin touring and whatnot is like cutting records.
I never knew 21 Savage or like Metro Boomin like would be in Austin, like
Uh-huh.
I never
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's those tours that are going through there most of the time. Like people that are on tour and they have those stops, like they want to keep the work going and keep recording. So they're looking for studios or they're looking for people to connect with. That's like another thing that I really put a lot of time into was like, who's in town right now? Can I get connected with them somehow? Or is it like, can I go to the show and meet like the manager, meet the photographer, meet someone, just connect with them, and of course like do it in a way that's like genuine and organic. And that's like a really good way to getting connected with someone. And it just kind of starts as a friendship, and then you like, take a photo of someone and it develops from there. But yeah, like the internet is your best friend, and just find people who are like close, and of course always like be very genuine with it. And people are a lot more open than you think.
And see, I want to get into music, but I don't even know where to start. Like I see SoundCloud rappers, and everybody starts somewhere, but I don't really know how to even like start to try and get something out there.
Me and my friends say you got to do a lot of things you don't like to figure out what you like. So just go for it all, and then you'll for sure know like, oh no, this like trap beats ain't for me, or like rapping ain't for me. I've done it all, man, and I've like now realize I want to DJ and produce like house music, but I've done it all. You just got to do a bunch of stuff you don't like, and you'll figure it out for sure.
For sure.
we have, did you have, when you were in high school, did you have any like campus news or like campus newspaper or like yearbook, kind of anything like that at the school?
Yeah, we did, but I wasn't really involved in that. I think I spent a lot of time running track, playing basketball, and I was in DECA, so I did like the Distribution Education Clubs of America thing on the business side. I didn't really start diving into audio and production entertainment very seriously until college at Texas Tech, where there's a studio out there called Amusement Park, and that's where I got my first internship. And basically, the people there were like super down to earth and showed me the ropes on how to just be a really good engineer. And I thought that would be the best way to get close to what it is that I wanted to do. And it wasn't exactly like what I want to do, but just learning it inside and out is like the best way to figure out where you really fit in the whole thing.
So as the guy with the keys,
Yeah.
right? So like through this door is the control room. On the other side of the control room is the recording studio. Running Logic on a couple computers, GarageBand on everything, microphones, instruments. We've got a lot of stuff kind of around here. And what I'm looking at is kind of how to develop kind of the, let's say creative culture, right?
Gotcha.
And a lot of what I do is really kind of relationship building. I mean, relationship building, communication, attempting to uncover kind of different interests. Have some students, I think, that have uploaded some things to BeatStars or to a couple of the different
Yeah.
kind of beat sharing sites. But my latest ideas, we've got this instrumental beat, and assigned for the students to shoot 5 to 20 seconds of themselves dancing to this instrumental. And then as I get that material sent to me, I put it all in Premiere and then get the audio synced up and just cut from, person to person type of thing. That's one of the ideas. What would you kind of recommend? I mean, as you can tell, I mean, we got one, Kez is here in the room with me. We have a couple of students out in the hallway, and then so Xavier, Trayvon, Luis, Ismail, Anthony, just type in questions in chat, as you guys kind of think them up. I've been working to kind of trying to work on that engagement. I mean, trying to work on student voice. What advice would you have for me?
I mean, everybody should just start working together and sharing their work and experimenting. Use that lab. Like I said, watch YouTube. There's another really cool site called Mix with the Masters. I'm a big fan of Elangelo, who's The Weeknd's producer. He just put out a whole video. Me and my friends are like going in on buying these like really deep dive courses on how to get the sounds of the people that we look up to, and then like challenge each other to be like, hey, go home over the weekend, make something, share it the next week. Another thing that's really fun, Fact Magazine has these against the clocks. Well, they'll get a producer and they give them 5 minutes to make something. And they have every type of producer you can think of, from like electronic, house, rap, and just like timing each other and seeing what you can come up with in 5 minutes kind of puts you in a headspace where you're not overthinking about what it is that you're trying to make, because it really doesn't matter. It's just 5 minutes to try something, but you end up like learning something new with like not thinking about it, I guess, if that makes sense, being the creative. So I would just say get together and just like challenge each other and work together, and like not have any sort of goal while like using that equipment that's available to you. If that makes sense. I think that's like the best, like collaboration's key, because you'll learn something new just by everyone that you work with. I don't know, just keeping an open mind and getting new perspectives from different people. Like if there's 5 people that want to make stuff, I would just team up and like challenge each other.
What would I mean, what would you say about like, kind of places to put things, places to have things? I saw Kez's Instagram for the first time like 2 hours ago because this
Mhm.
is the first time I've seen the man face to face in like a year because we've been shut down.
That's which is so crazy, by the way. Like how is it being in high school and dealing with the pandemic? Like that's y'all's generation are gonna figure something out that like we never could for sure. It's so crazy. It's crazy. Um, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What like places to put music or just places to put media?
So kind of what I do is I say, Deviant Art is kind of like 13 years old and up,
Hmm.
LinkedIn 17, years and up. I don't do a lot of like, I don't recommend students share like Snapchat or Facebook or something like social media with a professional, and be
Right.
like, here's me, here's some stuff that I do because, what we don't do a lot of, those social media kind of in the classroom environment. And I think coincidentally, in the professional world, not as ideal, but we know
Mhm.
LinkedIn, Instagram, DeviantArt. What else would you kind of recommend for
Well, right
portfolio?
now, everybody Twitter to find the people that you want to connect with, and then from there, figure out like the next step, like DMing them, tweeting them, finding out if they have a Discord room. Everybody is really heavy on Discord right now, like just building out communities where people can like be connected with the person they're a fan of, and then all those fans connecting and doing stuff. And then there's another app called Clubhouse. I don't know if y'all familiar with Clubhouse.
Clubhouse, I just discovered yesterday because
Yeah,
somebody on LinkedIn was like, our meeting just ended. And I go over to it. I'm like, what the heck is it? What was
yeah.
Clubhouse?
Clubhouse is going really crazy right now, where people are just scheduling basically like live podcast sort of things with people in the industry sharing free knowledge, and they'll do a whole like Q&A, open it up to the people that are in the room that ask questions, and then I'm seeing a lot of people just get connected and network that way. It's almost like a digital happy hour for creatives and people in the industry right now. So I would really heavily like depend on like Twitter, Discord, and Clubhouse. That's what I'm seeing everybody be on right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
But
stuff.
then yeah, we're getting like always, and then also like always have something ready, some sort of like PDF or like an EPK, like electronic press kit, or a website that's like a landing page that just kind of showcases some of your best work. Just always having that on deck, because as soon as you connect with someone, they're going to want to see what you do, and then it can just go from there.
Yeah, I'm thinking on the websites lately, Weebly for a free site type of thing. And then, so the students have their school email address to kind of experiment with, and
Hmm.
then like, use a personal if you want access to this after you graduate type of thing. What questions do you have for us, Charles?
Uh, I just want to know, what are y'all doing right now with being in a pandemic? Like, how are y'all mentally? How are y'all persevering? Because I mean, it's tough for everyone, and I often forget that there's people that are in school that now are at home, and you're not really getting that social interaction anymore. Like, what are y'all doing? That's my question. What are y'all doing to get through it?
Cause I just came from home. All I was doing, I just be playing Modern Warfare. Like I be on
Mhm.
there playing all the time. Talking trash. You know how that go. But yeah, that's about it though. Modern Warfare. Trying to, you know, keep my mind going. It's boring though, really.
Yeah, yeah. It's just it feels like it's almost over, but yeah, there's just so many times when like, man, what is the youth doing in this time where they're just at home? Like,
That's it.
yeah.
That's it. At home, bored on YouTube. I just be watching music video reactions.
Hmm.
Nothing.
Gotcha.
I've got
Yeah.
another student here who plays on the softball team, and she said that there's like 10 or 11 players, and it takes like 9 people to have like the game going. So they're
Uh,
they're basically playing the entire time. thing. So,
Yeah.
but some of the seasons have been able to, kind of take place and been able to do some things with athletics, but it's kind of, we had a video that we made last year kind of about attendance and, or maybe 2 years ago, attendance, and it had, kind of like all the basketball players, kind of in it. And it's like, well, not every single student's on the basketball team. So it's good to have an attendance video. But it's like what I want to know, and I'm working on a way to try to, create this media and make this happen, is some stories from some of the students who are like, I've got two classes where, we haven't had a teacher.
Mm,
Why does, how does that student, find the ability, to come in, keep showing up? For the students that I have, I was on family medical leave for 4 months.
wow.
So I had my students from August until November 1st. I stepped away to take care of a family member, my father-in-law, who was sick, and I just got back March 1st. So
Hmm.
I'm like, we're 4 months in the hole. Um, Being able to provide that routine. So being able to provide that routine of, popping on at the same times, kind of for class. And then just it's kind of a mad scramble to like, to have the students interacting with each other,
Hmm.
online, but, extroverts aren't better than introverts.
Right.
So it's just really quite a balance to, kind of have a community, or to start, kind of forming that community. Cause like I spent last fall talking about class of 2020, like, oh,
Hmm.
y'all missed out, 2020 missed out on this, 2020 missed out on that.
Yeah.
And I forgot that 2021 was standing right in front of me. Who's going to miss out on everything? I
Yeah.
mean, no homecoming, no prom, no.
It's crazy because school used to be loud, like it's just dead now, like it's boring.
Yeah. Man, there's gotta be something. I mean, I'm sure like everyone's tired of hopping online and sitting on a screen, but there's gotta be something you can do at like distance out in the open to bring back some sort of like familiarity. There's gotta be something.
It. We're gonna keep, keep asking. I mean, keep asking, keep looking. Keeping our chins up, and despite the pandemic, despite I don't know if you were in Texas for all the power outages and everything.
No, that was also wild.
Were you
Yeah,
here for that?
I wasn't. I have family there though, and yeah, saw the whole thing. Yeah, man. Once this is over, I feel like this is going to be like the strongest generation ever, just because of everything everyone's went through, and yeah, people are just going to appreciate hugging each other, simple things like that. Um, it does feel close though. It feels
Side
very
hugs.
close.
I got to send you a link, Charles, to my side hug video, because there's something I do with students where they take a sign that says "Who wants a side hug?"
Okay.
Like they put the sign in the hallway, and it's kind of like one of these
Uh,
things. But I guess it's, maybe we'll take the sign downstairs and have "Who wants an elbow bump?" And then Kez will be down there till he's got to go, and then making sure everybody at least got an elbow bump for the day, type of thing.
that was funny. Cool. Does anybody else have questions? Anything?
Got any questions, Haley? Nothing. I don't know if anybody popped up online here. Haven't seen anybody pop up. So I guess my last question, Charles, is there anything that we can do for you, with the students? Because I've kind of had this idea in my head of the students being a little bit of a focus group, the students being a little bit of a reaction to something.
Uh-huh.
Um, but is there anything that we could do for you, sir?
Well, thinking right now, I'm like heavily involved with this artist, originally from Chicago, but spent most of his time in Houston and lives in LA. He's actually my roommate, and I live with him and his creative director. And we're like diving in deep to get this next album done. But I think it could be cool to share some of the music that we're working with, stuff that's like ready to be shared before it comes out, and then just get the youth input on it, just to know how you guys feel about it, like critiques. Yeah, I like it, don't like it. I love this part. Just to kind of have, I don't know, I think it'd be cool for you guys to like have your voice heard by people that are also producing it, and just have that sort of feedback of people, because you guys are who we're making music for. And yeah, if y'all don't like it, then you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. So it'd be cool to, like, I don't know, figure out some sort of system where I can share stuff that's in the works, that's ready to be shared, and maybe some sort of assignment where everyone's got to give their input or talk about what they like or what they want to learn, how a certain sound was made or something, where I can give that back to you guys. But that sounds like a cool idea to me, just being able to share and you guys just give feedback what's going on.
That would be great. Just from, my time, teaching these past 4 years, I mean, track has to have something in it that like a middle school kid can whistle.
Hmm.
Just something, in it like that. So like it makes the song like,
42 Dugg.
What's that?
42 Dugg.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's a cool idea. I can set up like a Dropbox link, share some stuff with you, and then you can play for the class. That could be a cool way of, that'd be some cool homework too. Like, yeah, go home and rate this. Like, what do you want to learn from this particular song or project? Yeah.
If you got Instagram or something like that, I could repost your stuff, See if
Cool.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. What are the handles, Charles? Like, where do we find you at? Where do we learn more?
It's just at Charles Moon, but the O's are X's, so CharlesMXXN, and that's my IG, Twitter. I'm on Facebook too, rarely. My relationship with social media is kind of weird. I look at it kind of like a joke. So yeah, I like to post random things and not really show what I'm doing, but then there's every now and then I'll be like, oh yeah, this happened, this song came out. Yeah, I didn't even really talk about it, but in a very like roundabout way, a band I worked with was nominated for a Grammy this last Grammy situation, and a song we wrote got put in the Bill and Ted movie. But we ended up losing to Jojo Rabbit. But yeah, there's like kind of stuff that's going on, and I'll kind of show it for a moment and then kind of go back to just showing random things. Like that's just kind of my relationship with social media. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can definitely check out IG, Twitter, and I'll send you the video kind of the the side hug video.
Yeah.
And if you want me or us to experiment, with anything like that, I mean to post something, have like a dry erase board in the hallway, or kind of play a song, get some reactions, things like that.
Yeah. That's a great point. I'll make sure you guys get connected with this artist. His name is Hammond, Hamond. His creative director is also just like a TikTok guru. He knows how, like, he works with a lot of different labels and artists and like breaking songs. He'd also be another really good person for you guys to talk to. I don't understand his brain. He stays in his room all day long and he just finds like really weird corners of the internet, comes out of his room and is like, yo, we need to be on, for instance, like NFTs. I don't know if you guys know what NFTs are.
NFT?
That is non-fungible tokens. It's like beyond me. But that is how artists are basically taking back their artistry and making money and not having to like depend on the record labels.
Gatekeepers, the music industry, Spotify.
Yeah, it's like digital art meets cryptocurrency. And so Grimes, I think, made like $3 million off of an art. Basically, the future is now, and people with money, instead of buying like fine art and hanging on their walls, I imagine there's going to be like digital picture frames, and then you buy like art from that artist for however much it is. And the difference between like a screenshot copy paste is like that art piece has metadata. And so a flex from rich people is like, yeah, I bought this digital artwork from this artist and I own it and it's in my digital picture frame. That's the kind of stuff that I learned from this guy. Yeah, it is the future.
There,
Right.
so I've had one other guest speaker this month, and it was Brian Beam, Behm, who's got a side project called No System, and that side project is basically you got an app open on your phone, you point it at a T-shirt, the T-shirt comes to life on the phone.
Wow. Wow,
So
that's wild.
lots of stuff to talk about. Well, any closing thoughts, Kez? Any final questions or?
I'm gonna follow you. I followed you on IG. I'm gonna message
Cool.
your stuff, repost it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's good talking with y'all. And then also if you ever have questions, like DM me, email me, whatever. Like I'm an open book. I'll share whatever I can just to help y'all out. Like
I
make
got you.
you happy. Yeah.
Awesome.
Got you.
Thank you, Charles. Have a good rest of your day,
Yeah,
sir.
man. Take care. Peace, y'all.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Trayvon, you got your ears on?
Yeah, I've been here.
Ooh-wee. Man, that was a good one. What do you think?
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Because like, like real world connections.